Journalist Maureen Orth has been following the case for more than a decade. Her latest Jackson piece is in Vanity Fair on stands now. She's uncertain if the star can make a career comeback.
A lot of steps have to happen. If he would go through rehab, if he would sincerely want to tour again, and he's really going to have to go out and greet the people in order to make a comeback.
Now with the trial finally at an end, the focus is beginning to shift to how Michael will pick up the pieces. One of the biggest being his 2 children with ex-wife Debbie Rowe. When we talked to her last year, Debbie expressed her anguish at the circumstances surrounding her family.
My big fears I can't talk about, and I wouldn't.
Today, Rowe gave this statement to E.T., quote, "Now my family can move forward. I have no fears. My fears are gone." Michael's father, Joe Jackson, who appeared on 48 Hours last night, supported Rowe's statement that efforts are being made to restore the bond between her and Michael's children, whom she hasn't seen in years.
We will do our utmost best to keep everybody happy.
But with so much attention being focused on Michael's legal troubles, many people may have forgotten what it was that made him arguably the biggest pop star the world has ever seen. It was 1970, and a 12-year-old Michael and his brothers were on top of the world. And in 1972, he made an appearance on The Dating Game. He opened the show with Rockin' Robin from his first solo album, then sat down to question his 3 potential dates.
If we go out together and a bunch of girls start following me, let's hear what you say to them to make them go away. Get away from him. He's mine, not yours.
But the price of fame was high. Michael missed out on the joys of a normal childhood, though that didn't stop him from propelling into the realm of superstardom. In 1982, Thriller became one of the best-selling albums of all time, followed by another massive hit album, Bad, in 1987.
Sorry, I gotta take 5 minutes. Mary?
During this whirlwind, he always had time for E.T. Mary held hands with the star as they were accompanied by security backstage, but his adoring fans never saw what our E.T. cameras captured. We shadowed Michael as he created his massive hit Beat It, shooting the music video and in the editing room. And though he had reached a level most could only dream about, his dream was a simple one.
To bring the world together through love, peace, joy, for man to live together. That's the whole thing.
Money may force Michael back into the studio. His lifetime earnings are estimated at about $500 million, but he reportedly has about $300 million in debt.
Welcome to Open Minds Radio with your host, Alejandro Rojas, former official spokesperson for the Mutual UFO Network.
Welcome back. I'm excited to have Michael Luckman back on the show. Mr. Luckman on the phone. Hello, Michael, are you there?
Hi, Alejandro. I'm fine, thank you.
There is one person that I promised some of the people we would talk about, and that was Michael Jackson. You said, I know your book has Michael Jackson and some experiences he had.
Well, yes. I met Michael in New York about 5 years ago, and he was being, as usual, dogged by the paparazzi, and he was having really a hard time. So it wasn't the best circumstances, but I did learn some very important things. He had an experience when he was, I would say, in his early 20s. It happened when he was on a plane on a flight over Alaska, and he did see what he referred to as UFOs. It was some kind of something out there in the far beyond. He actually looked at it from the pilot's cockpit, and he asked the pilot whether he had ever seen anything like that. These UFOs, which are multicolored and like crystalline, and just glowing out there, and the pilots had never seen anything like it, and he said he'll never forget the impression that it left with him. So he was very, very much into the subject, and even took it as far as he had a hope, anyway, of being able to perform his trademark moonwalk on the moon, and had gone so far as to talk to Uri Geller, the psychic, about it and how he might go about getting onto the moon to do such a performance.
Well, it's too bad he wasn't able to, and maybe, with commercial spacefaring, becoming a bigger industry, maybe if he's reincarnated as a child, he'll be able to do it in his next life.
Well, perhaps so. Perhaps so.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I was thinking about, what a life this guy had. Often I think about, well, wasn't this sighting before he was famous? But Michael Jackson was famous his whole entire life.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
So what a life that he had.
Yes, and he was a card-carrying member of the New York Center for Extraterrestrial Research, my organization.
Wow.
He actually had a card that I had presented to him here in New York, and I have from him a copy of the card signed by him.
Cool.
He was very much into the subject, and of course he's also into a lot of other, paranormal type subjects.
Right. He was good friends with Uri Geller, wasn't he?
He was. Yes. He at one point he was very, very close to Uri, and one of Michael's albums, I'm not sure which one, Uri had made some drawings which were very UFO oriented. That Michael treasured and included in the booklet.